Hey, it's me, Big P, about to start day 2 of the Expedition League with my Shield Crush Gladiator, and I want to do a quick video going over where it's at right now, how leveling was, and, all that stuff. I wasn't able to play as much as I really wanted to because I was actually kind of sick, or I kind of only streamed for like a little under 2 hours, and then it was just like I had to go take a nap and drink some tea and stuff. It felt really just terrible. But got to Act 10 and started using Shield Crush and started figuring some stuff out. Still a bit to work out, so probably I'll have the full build guide up on Monday if it's worth the full build guide. Luckily, I think it will be worth the full build guide. Shield Crush is pretty awesome. As I was doing some expeditions through the campaign, I was leveling with both Perforate and Bladestorm, and I was a little worried that, oh, maybe Bladestorm would be like too perfect for the league mechanic, and like it would be like, why are you even playing Shield Crush? Like it doesn't. But ends up being pretty awesome. Once I made the swap over to Shield Crush, and just started gearing for it appropriately, I was tearing through stuff. Really picked up around like Act 7 or 8. When I got some levels on the gem, I was a little apprehensive about starting it as my like main skill from the get-go. And so apprehensive that I didn't even check the vendor. I just assumed you'd get it at like Act 2 or 3, but you can, if you want to, start with Shield Crush. And it might not be that bad, but it might be a little better to wait a bit, try. It's slightly more difficult to gear, but like not really. It's actually kind of easy to gear once you consider all that you're. Well, first off, it's armor. I'll go over that after. Let's go over the actual mechanics of the build itself. So in terms of movement skills, I am gonna have to finalize exactly what I do. Because as you can see on the left click, I have that war cry with Exsanguinate. I don't know if you can see that procking. It's kind of hard to see, but any blood that you see is Exsanguinate and not the Shield Crush.
My spirit is spent.
Yeah, do this one. Kind of awkward. Let's just go for the money. Now let's fight a bunch of monsters. Damani. I'm really liking Expedition League so far. I'll go over that at the end, just in case you don't really care. And you think it's a dead league and a dead game and the game's too hard. So Bladestorm I thought would be just way better because of the nature of, whatchamacallit. The league mechanic being like, okay, set stuff up, and then you can like set up your Bladestorms. These guys, oh, I'm not even doing. Oof. Oh, I probably have cannot leech right now, so that's pretty rough. Oof. Oof. Okay. So it's probably one of the ones that'll brick your build, especially if you're using War Banner. Shit. Can I leech from someone else? Alright. Alright, never mind. Sleek sucks. It's too hard. Alright. Oh, they're like immune to physical damage or some shit. What the hell's going on here? Hello? Okay, I guess I picked the immune to physical damage one I didn't notice. So let's try and get... Nice video. Tried to be quick. Tried to be cool. Ended up cringe. Story of my fucking life. So yeah, this build does a lot of physical damage. I'll go over the links and exact DPS. I don't know if Path of Building is updated to have Shield Crush actual numbers. I don't think it'll be that hard to calculate. What might be hard to calculate is the fact that those projectiles can shotgun. It's not a projectile. Don't call it a projectile. That's actually something I wanted to mention. In my initial video, I was thinking that this would be like half Spectral Shield Throw, half Shield Crush, since I didn't think the clear would be so good, and I think I am right about that. If I wasn't using an Exsanguinate on Battle Mage's Cry with Chain. This is with bleed explosions too, from Gratuitous Violence as well, so keep that in mind if you like or don't like the clear you're seeing. I think it's alright. But Spectral Shield Throw, the gem tags are like pretty different, so even though you can do both of them as bleed, you can kind of take advantage of stuff like Ancestral Protector that you couldn't because we are a melee skill, and Shield Throw is a projectile attack. So it's slightly different. I think you can use like, oh no, we're using War Chief. Projectiles can use protector. So anyway, let's go over, I guess, the gearing if you want to start shield charge from the top. On leave a like if you've gotten this weird XP bug. It makes me feel like I'm getting 110% XP. Oh wait, what the fuck? I have like 14 XP. Very weird. Okay, so let's go over the links. Shield Crush, Chance to Bleed does work. I'm not entirely sure if that first line, supported attacks deal 24 to 37 added physical damage with weapons. I'm not sure if shield counts as weapon. I think it does, at least for the purposes of this. As someone in the comments was like mentioning, like that they had changed it for this or whatever. And by the way, thanks everybody for like leaving a bunch of really helpful comments. Helped me kind of hammer out the tree and learn a lot about like bleed and how stuff like deadly ailments may or may not be optimal for the build. Melee physical damage we can use. Even with the 10% less attack speed, we still are able to go for Crimson Dance, just because, I mean, it's hard to do a bleed build that's not doing Crimson, unless you're like super slow slammer, like there's probably no reason to not go for it. And Swift Affliction just makes it the bleed itself happen a little faster. I guess I'll talk about immediacy of damage in a little bit when we talk more about mechanics. But I mean, I guess you kind of saw it there. If you go for something like Deadly Ailments, it will take a bunch of the damage that you would be doing on the initial hit and kind of push it to the bleed. It's 80% less damage with hits, but a bunch more for damage over time. However, right now, I only have my second lab done, and my gear's not all set up. We have a paltry 35 chance to block attack damage only, none for spell block. So before I, am really feeling more comfortable about the tankiness of the character, because it still very much is a melee skill, I'm probably not going to go. I like having that oomph of damage at the front. Not to mention that you are not leeching off of your bleed, you leech off your initial hit. And I'm already having mana. I don't count those mana problems with the expedition I just bricked over there. But even so, I did have to really put Life Tap in the Leap Slam. We did end up going for Leap Slam. I'm using Leap Slam, faster attacks, and Life Tap support to completely bypass all of the movement skill nerfs that happen this patch. I mean, I still am using a Dash and a Blood Rage, and here's my Malevolence. We have an Ancestral War Chief with Maim. Even though you maim on your attacks, I believe enemies maimed by supported skills take increased physical damage. This works in addition. I'm not sure on that. We are able to squeeze the War Banner in only after I put the Life Tap on the Leap Slam. Otherwise, you really will have mana issues. I don't even have Challenger charges. I guess I should show you the tree right now so far. But it is basically what I say. I'm kind of running over to Veteran Soldier right now just so I have all my damage nodes. I'll probably fill out Sanctuary over here, Barbarism, and then we'll see what I need. Probably going to try and get some Mana Leech on a Jewel so I can save a few points here, but then I might need more Dex. The requirements of Dex and Int have been a little stringent so far. I'll probably need, I think I'm okay, but I think I need about 10 more Int, and that's including the fact that I've taken these two here. But leveling hasn't been so bad overall. And I think you actually can maybe level with Shield Crush from level 1. You might, I don't know, between not having the bleed pops and the clutch, Exsanguinate, Battle Mage's Cry with Chain and Swift Affliction. These are just the boots I'm using right now. I think I would go 3 red, 1 green to change Swift Affliction to Brutality. But yeah, for right now, I'm just really interested in using this as to help like tag stuff for clear. I wish we could like get a 5 link in it somewhere, because then I think we could do like Hex Touch with it. We do Battle Mage's Cry, Exsanguinate, Hex Touch, Vulnerability. I think I can do that with 4. That's 4, right? But then you don't have Chain. So if I can get another way for these, it's not projectiles either. The Exsanguinate, so you can't like get like a jewel or whatever that lets your skills chain additional. Actually, skills chain additional on an additional time might actually work, but I don't know where the hell I get that. It's like a weird corruption or whatever. I guess I'll upload a path of building with all the gear I have currently. I mean, the Magnate just dropped for me, and that's pretty good because it's Global Fizz. Increased flash charges gained to kind of mitigate the whole flash drought that's happening in this patch. This is terrible. This is also terrible. This is really good. No, just kidding. It's terrible. Yeah, so it's still very mediocre gear. I think this is all right. Oh, actually, let's go. So let's go over the fun stuff, the weapons. Bloodrend, really good. Wow, what a great axe. I don't really give a shit about this axe. I would probably craft flat physical if I really care, if this mattered at all. The only thing that matters is the attack speed for my leap slam. That's basically it. And the attacks increased damage with bleeding. I believe that's global. I don't think that's local. I think it would say with this weapon if it was specifically for this weapon. I guess life gained on hit with attacks is pretty nice. But yeah, don't be fooled. Your damage for Shield Crush only matters based on the flat armor or evasion on your shield. I actually wanted to maybe go over this. Perhaps this is a grammar error. Because 4 to 6 added physical damage per 15 armor or evasion on your shield makes it seem like it will take the higher of the two and count that instead. But I believe that it's armor and evasion because I was leveling with. Well, I just got this from whatchamacallit, the one of the Act 9 rewards. This is actually pretty good. This is like what you'd be looking for. Well, there's like a lot of interesting things, but the main thing you do is look at the top and see how much armor and evasion rating you're getting, because that's what's going to deal the flat damage on your attack. I was using this before. This is just something I picked up randomly. You can get stuff like attack speed. You can get stuff like attack damage. And then I bought this one when I was level 62. And I was just getting an Act 10. I'm like, let's see what, like, I got a couple chaos. I bought this for 3 chaos, and I was like, what can I get? This is like suspiciously like like someone crafted life on it, and it's got just over 1k armor, which should be fine for the white maps. As soon as I bought this, I was just blasting through any bosses and like one-shotting packs and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to start with just Shield Crush, just keep an eye out for armor rolls, armor and or evasion rolls. Not energy shield, unfortunately. I do believe I mentioned that because we're scaling an Exsanguinate, or at least let's say using an Exsanguinate. The only thing that's really scaling it is our generic physical damage on the tree and physical dot multi that we have. So it's a little too cute, I think. Unless you're like a spell slinger or whatever, you're probably gonna stick with the good old
I can't do this just yet.
stuff that lets you leap slam around. Maybe whirling blades. I don't know if you want to go for that, but I don't think so. I think the standard like bleed main hand weapons are going to be more important. What else do I want to go over? I guess the flasks and stuff they're still working. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this. I did get an orb, the enkindling, whatever the fuck orb. In Act, I think 7 or 8, so they're not super uncommon. I think you should probably be able to get customize your own setup. Although it might be something that you're like rolling, so maybe it's a little bit trickier and it's going to be a bit more of a currency sink than I think. Let's go. Did I go over all of them? Herald of Purity isn't linked with anything right now. There is a bit of socket pressure. Because I don't have all my sockets set up and stuff, and I was able to squeeze the war banner in, like I said, only after. See, like if you take out the life tap, it gets pretty. You see
My
how
spirit is spent.
you really don't want to like run up to a pack and then have to auto it. I mean, it's not that bad. It could be way worse, but either way. Another thing worth mentioning is that because Leap Slam is a slam skill that can be exerted. I'm not sure whether or not I want to. Well, I definitely don't want to go up and waste 3 points on a tree, so I'll probably maybe have to craft it on the ring. However, if you can like time it well enough, like let's see, like I mean that Exsanguinate just cleared that whole pack. On the rare you probably still have to tap it once, but like it could be like super gamer optimal. I don't know. But just keep that in mind. If you are leap slamming around, Battle Mage's Cry will be exerting those attacks. So if you leap slam into a pack, it'll do the Exsanguinate. But if you're just leap slamming to move, it will waste your exerted attack. Not the greatest thing, but probably not overall. Again, we're not using. It's not that big a deal. We're not using Exsanguinate is just a little bit something extra that's very cute. And Can't help but love those little blood splatters it leaves. What else do I want to go over? I mean, gearing, I went over the blood rate stash, exsanguinate, everything else. I guess I'm leveling. I'm still leveling with Bladestorm just in case. I think we'll be able to use cruelty, but probably brutality is probably just way better. Um, forget what other red gem I was using here. It might be Maim in the main lane. Oh no, Fortify. Fortify is probably that's another thing that we can use as a melee skill that Spectral Shield Throw can't. So I'm probably going to focus on that instead. And looking forward, I don't really know. Gearing this has been kind of weird, but playing it has been pretty
I
fun.
can't do this just yet.
And I think it's going to help me at least get something that can grind out some maybe lower tier red maps in the Atlas without basically any investment at all, which is my favorite sort of thing. That's kind of exactly the plan for this. And then maybe, I'll just have this for, later in the league if I ever feel like I saw some really, you can get like crazy shaped shields with like up to like 3K armor. Well, like 3K armor is like mirror tier. Probably a more reasonable benchmark would be like 2K, maybe like 2,500. But yeah, and the weapon's gonna be weird too. But a lot of stuff to build towards, but still a very solid foundation so far. And I'm probably gonna go live on Twitch. I feel way better now, so it's gonna be like a full degenerate gamer session. Probably after I eat a little lunch or something. And beyond that, let me know if you have any questions. Again, thanks again for leaving those comments, because my tree would be way worse if not for that. Like stuff like increased defenses from shield, I would have swung all the way over for command of steel and wasted these points. But they actually did change this. I mean, it still would be okay, but like not until you're like at max block. So like going for this early would kind of be not worth it. And that goes again for retaliation. Again, you really kind of want to scale your bleed, although it is nice to have that front uh, loaded damage on the actual initial hit, because shield crush is pretty beefy. It's pretty respectable. I guess I should mention you could use blood and sand. And I was obviously when doing like blade storm and stuff like that, because the mechanics of it changed, but it didn't seem to make like that much of a difference. Like you're in blood stance by default, and like that's the blood. Like that's pretty good. That's I don't know. Either way, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy.